Hi, Shannon.
Hey, Rosie.
I am
Thank you for,
so excited that you wanted to interview me today on juicing.
well, you're the guru. You know what you're doing.
I try my best. Been juicing now for 28 years, believe it or not.
28 years.
Yes, yes.
Well, you're only like 35,
That's
right?
right. That's right. So I was just a little baby. Just kidding. Just kidding. But yeah, so yeah, I can just kind of talk about my history and my experience with it if that's fine. And then I know you have some questions for me as well.
Right. Would love to hear your story.
Okay. Well, basically, been juicing for about 28 years. I honestly feel my healthiest and most radiant when I'm consistently juicing. And that's really when I started with consistent juicing, that's what in abundance, that's what allowed me to start to, really feel healthy, kind of, attain a healthy weight and a youthfulness and just my skin started to glow. And it's whenever I'm consistently juicing. So that in itself, just adding that to my daily regime, made me feel just healthier and happier. It's a way to get nutrients deep into the cells. I think it's one of the easiest ways for the body to get the nutrients it needs because so many people have issues with their gut and with absorption, their digestion, their elimination, that they're not able to extract the nutrients that the body needs to get that nutrients into the cells. So one thing that I love that juicing does is that it bypasses that. It's able to get across that, for the liver to go up the portal vein and to get into the cells to be distributed to the body. So I think it's one of the best things we could possibly do for our health, especially if we're in a compromised position or experiencing a severe health challenge where the body's very weak and can't really do its job on its own. I think juicing really comes to the rescue where nothing else really can. So yeah, so been juicing for quite a while, off and on. Sometimes I'm more consistent than others. That's why I say when I'm more consistent, that's when I notice more of the healing benefits, of course.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking exactly the absorption of the vitamins and the
Mhm.
minerals that are contained within the produce would
Yes.
be fast absorbed versus waiting and allowing the body to, like you said, digest and then absorbs things such as supplements
Mhm.
that are added to a meal in order to
Mhm.
get um, not that that's I mean that's what we do, but
Right.
you're saying it's quicker because it's already in a form that can be readily absorbed and quickly absorbed.
Right, because the juicer kind of does a little bit of the work for us now because it's masticating, it's breaking down those cell walls and the nutrients, it's allowing those nutrients to be extracted and to become bioavailable for the body. So especially because I think most people don't take the time to chew 30 to 50 times a mouthful like we're supposed to in order to break down food and extract that nutrients. So the juicer is kind of helping us do that because it's breaking down, it's masticating that produce and it's extracting the juice. So once again, most people don't have an ideal healthy body because of just living in this world and the toxins and the soil being depleted and whatnot and jaw issues and teeth issues and so many things that cause their body not to be able to extract those nutrients. So I like to look at the juicers kind of like a little assistant because it's like chewing and breaking that down, so by the time we're drinking that juice, those nutrients are bioavailable immediately.
Yeah, agreed. And that gets me to the next question. When the juicing, the job of the juicer,
Mhm.
there's different juicers out there.
Yes.
Wondering which juice. I think I already know which juicer you use, what juicer line, but can you go over some of the juicers? I know you had done some research, I believe, earlier this year or last year, um,
Yeah.
looking into which juicers are the best candidates for people out there?
Yes, yes, absolutely. There's basically two types that are pretty popular. There's the centrifugal type juicer and then the slow type juicers, where the slow masticating type that are usually single auger, some are twin auger masticating type. When I started juicing 28 years ago, I used the fast spinning RPM, so the centrifugal type juicer. Those spin at a fast RPM. So some of the ones like examples would be the Jack LaLanne or the Breville juicers. The lower the RPMs, the better, if that's the type of juicer that a person wants to use. I like the Jack LaLanne because it spins at a 3,600 RPM. The Breville juicers as well, about 6,500 to 1,200 RPM. So that's like the highest RPMs that I would go. So that's why I like those two. So the other type of juicer, which is the slow type masticating, those are single auger, twin auger. So they're going to be spinning slowly, like, 46 to 56 RPM. So it takes a little longer to juice the produce, but it's a much healthier, higher quality juice yield. So depending on the person's need, I recommend either, just depending on their lifestyle, what their goals are. If it's just, they don't have a lot of time to juice, or they do have time, if they want to juice more greens, then I would go with the slow type juicer. If they're going to do more, apples and carrots, then the high speed juicer might be the way to go. So just taking in those different factors to decide which one's best for the person to use.
And why are the slower juicers better? Is it because the way that they won't destroy the nutrients, the heat?
Yeah, because the heat, they're often referred to as a cold press juicer, and then there's the higher end juicers like the Pure, and then what is the name of the one that's been around forever? Gosh, I can't think of the name at the moment, but
there's the one that the Garrison, Dr. Garrison.
Yes, that one I'm thinking
She recommends. It's like $2,800.
Yes, so those are the press ones. So just like these two plates come down and press. So those are that's like a cold press juicer, but even the slow type juicers, like the one I have, a Tribest Solo Star 4, that's considered a cold press juicer as well. So there's very, very low heat, so no heat, and it's spinning very slow, so it's not ripping apart that produce so vigorously. So it's more gentle, and it's extracting it with the low heat. So the enzymatic activity is more present. It's not going to oxidize as quickly. You can keep those in the refrigerator longer, 3 to 4 days, as opposed to the other centrifugal type juicer.
And that goes to my next question. With juicing, by getting the juicers that add no heat, therefore they are able to have a longer shelf life in the refrigerator. Does that come in to help a person if they're juicing, if they have to have something every day, that allows them more convenience as far as preparation? So they could probably do about 4 days worth of juicing in one day, so they have it for the rest of the week.
Yes. Very, very good idea, especially if somebody doesn't want to be juicing every day. So that type of a juicer, the slow masticating, is ideal because it will last in the refrigerator up to 3 or 4 days. And you could take a day or half a day to make all those juices that you need for the next 3 or 4 days, and you don't have to juice every day. You can just pull those out of the refrigerator. They can also be frozen. You just don't fill them up to the very top, and you kind of leave the lid a little bit loose and put them to the back of the freezer, and then take them out, either the day before and put them into the refrigerator and kind of cycle them out that way. But I leave them in the refrigerator only for up to 3 or 4 days, and they're just fine.
Yeah. So freezing is still beneficial as well.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Juicing versus smoothies, pureeing. Why would I know they're both beneficial for different reasons.
Yeah.
Can you explain just real quick?
Yes,
one over the other?
Yes, absolutely. That's a very common question. So there is absolutely a difference. It's important to understand why both are beneficial, and sometimes why juicing is the optimal way to go in many situations. Like I said before, depending on if there's an issue with digestion or elimination is compromised in any way. because of how the body works, and it can extract the nutrients better. So depending on the health condition, juicing is essential. With blending, with smoothies, the fiber is more present, of course. And that can be a benefit. And, we have that fiber to help all that roughage, push everything out of the colon. So that fiber is essential as well. However, if somebody has a compromised condition they're dealing with, they are not going to be able to handle that fiber at all. So their body can't even extract the nutrients. So we have to take the health into consideration to see which is beneficial at what time of their life and what they're going through. And also to take into consideration the chewing aspect again. When we're blending, we got to make sure we're kind of chewing some of that if it doesn't get liquefied all the way, because you are getting a lot more fiber and that roughage that's needed, depending. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So if we're talking, when you're talking in a compromised immune system where, maybe they're in such a state in their crisis where they cannot digest, metabolize, nor absorb, just because they're, not at a place where they can do that. They're, like you said, they're in crisis.
Yeah.
What conditions are we looking at that would be more beneficial to juice than the smoothie?
Okay. Usually more severe health challenges where the body is already in such a weakened state, where the person can already tell if they're eating and they think they're eating really healthy and good, but yet they're not gaining any strength, any energy, or any improvement in their health condition. So therefore, we can conclude that the body's not extracting the nutrients it needs, and it's not getting to the cells for any improvement to be noticed or energy to be increased. So that could be a sign there. Also elimination. So if there's not any bowel movements happening, or there's struggle happening there, or they just feel that full feeling and the person knows they haven't had a movement in a day, 2 days, 3, then we definitely know that those nutrients are not being absorbed because the system's probably backed up.
Yeah.
So those are some signs to look at.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are good points.
Yes.
I mean, that alone could be
Yeah.
the number one reason for juicing.
Exactly. True. Very, very, I agree.
And then when we're juicing, we'll get to, I mean, if a person is not able to always get organic, that's just how it is.
Right.
However, do you feel that organic could only benefit the person by juicing organic produce only?
That is a really good question. And I'm very pro organic produce as much as possible. If we're not juicing all organic, we're kind of defeating the purpose, I feel, of what the body's trying to achieve and getting healthy and cleansing and detoxing itself, because we're flooding it with all of this produce and fruits and veggies and healing compounds, wanting to get healthier or attain a healthier state. And if we're not just juicing organic, we're also putting in the pesticides and the toxins that we're trying so hard to get rid of. So for me, it's really essential to strive for that 100% organic. I know that's not always possible, and I know everybody can't do that all the time, but I do think it's really important to strive for that.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I always, we're referred back to as, if you can't always, there's the environmental working group. Mm-hmm. It has a list. It used to be the Dirty Dozen. Mm-hmm. Now yes. I think they've actually done the Clean 15. Mm-hmm. I think it mm-hmm. is. So that when people do go to the grocery store, if they aren't able to get all organic, at least they can see, which top 12 Dirty Dozen should they absolutely stay away from.
Yes, exactly.
And which are the most clean.
Yes.
The ones that don't necessarily need to be organic. So which ones are pretty clean?
Yes. So the Dirty Dozen definitely are the ones that you want to buy absolutely organic, because they're the crops that have the most heavily used pesticides on them. And then, like you said, the Clean 15, those are lower on that report. So those are going to be a little bit less toxic, I guess you could say, with pesticides. And then you can also wash those in baking soda or veggie wash, that's provided at the store, or even apple cider vinegar. So different kind of recipes you can do to wash those as well, to get the pesticide residue off of those before you prepare them and juice them. So those are good to go by as well. The thing to consider with genetically modified organisms, with GMOs, that already might be in the seed, or, within the plant, in the inside, I like to say. So that part can't be washed off. But we don't live in a perfect world, I know. And at least that's a good guideline to go by if we need to, the clean 15 and the dirty dozen.
Yeah, because I know with the dirty dozen, I always stay away from those,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
If I'm somewhere that is
Mhm.
not organic.
Yeah, like celery's on there, peaches, strawberries,
Right.
apples, blueberries, kale, spinach, those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's about it on my
Okay.
interview. My questions to you. If you had to walk away with why is juicing good for you, what would be your bottom lines if you had to share that?
Well, because it allows the body to absorb a vast amount of nutrients in a short amount of time. It is uploaded very quickly, and that's extremely beneficial for us to get those nutrients and to get that energy we need right away, so health can be achieved and energy can be sustained, and we have our best shot at being healthy and feeling good. So I think it's an essential component of a healthy diet, definitely.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Well, thank you, Rosie. I appreciate this.
Well, thank you very much, Shannon. This was fun, and I'm sure we could talk for hours. There's so much more we could say and go into, but this was a nice, short little interview, and I really enjoyed it. So thank
I
you so
did
much.
too. You're welcome. All right. Thank you.
All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Okay. Good night.